Hello students, you are welcomed in the class again. Previously we have done some part of the chapter 5, which is principles of inheritance and variation. Here we have discussed Mendelian inheritance, deviation from Mendelism, and the various terms like pleiotropy, polygenic inheritance, chromosomal theory of inheritance, chromosomes and genes. Now next part of this chapter we'll discuss now. This is sex-linked inheritance in human and disorders. So let me start with this. In humans and other mammals, biological sex is determined by a pair of sex chromosomes. Already you have studied types of chromosomes in 10th class also, that two types of chromosomes are there, sex chromosomes and autosomes. So what are the sex chromosomes? The sex chromosomes are the chromosomes which determine the sex of an individual. So in humans and other mammals, biological sex is determined by a pair of sex chromosomes, XY in males and XX in females. Genes on the X chromosomes are said to be X-linked. X-linked genes have distinctive inheritance patterns because they are present in different numbers in females and males. Like that females they have XX chromosome double, and in males only one X chromosome is there. So their inheritance pattern is different. X-linked human genetic disorders are much more common in males than in females due to the X-linked inheritance pattern. So reason for this we shall study further in the next topic. We'll come to the sex chromosome in human male and female. A human male has two sex chromosomes, the X and Y. Unlike the 44 autosomes which are known as the non-sex chromosome also, the X and Y don't carry the same genes and are not considered homologous. Instead of an X and a Y, a human female has two X chromosomes. The remaining 44 autosomes are there. Because sex chromosomes don't always come in homologous pairs, the genes they carry show unique distinctive pattern of inheritance. So we will see the sex-linked inheritance in human. Here you see the human male karyotype is shown here. Here all these 22 pairs of autosomes means 44 autosomes and one pair of sex chromosome, that is X and Y. This is a human male karyotype. This is sex chromosome in human. This is X chromosome. This one is the Y, which is shorter than the X, and SRY gene is present in Y chromosome, which determine the sex in the human male. Sex chromosomes in humans. The human Y chromosome plays a key role in determining the sex of the developing embryo. How? This is mostly due to the gene called SRY. This SRY is the sex determining region of Y. SRY is found on the Y chromosome and encodes a protein that turns on other genes required for male development. So understood that which of the gene on the Y chromosome responsible for the developing a embryo into a male embryo. Okay, this is SRY, sex determining region of Y. XX embryos do not have SRY, so they develop as female. XY embryos do have SRY, so they develop as male. So understood the region for the sex determination in male and female. Now we'll come to the topic X-linked genes. As I explained you already that inheritance of genes located on the X chromosome, that is X-linked inheritance. So genes located on the X chromosome, okay, they are X-linked genes. So when a gene is present on the X chromosome but not on the Y chromosome, it is said to be the X-linked. X-linked genes have different inheritance pattern, that also I explained you already. Then the genes of non-sex chromosomes. That's because these genes are present in different copy numbers in males and female. In females, 2X chromosome, in males only 1X chromosome, and that is the reason for the different inheritance patterns. Genes on either the X or the Y have unusual inheritance patterns and are called sex linked. Sex linked inheritance means inheritance of the genes present on X and Y chromosomes, which are the sex chromosome. But X linkage is much more common than Y linkage, since there are many more genes on the X than the Y. Now we'll come to the X-linked genetic disorders. In humans, the alleles for certain conditions, including some forms of color blindness, hemophilia, and muscular dystrophy, they are X-linked. These diseases are much more common in men than they are in women due to their X-linked inheritance pattern. So all these are the X-linked disorders. Why is this the case? Let's explore this using an example in which a mother is heterozygous for a disease causing allele. Women who are heterozygous for disease alleles are said to be the carriers, that you have studied in 10th also, that who are the carriers one if the condition is heterozygous. For recessive alleles, they are always required homozygous condition to express themselves. So in heterozygous conditions, this recessive allele cannot be expressed. So women who are heterozygous for disease alleles are said to be the carriers, because 2X chromosomes are there, and if this allele for the problem present on one X chromosome and absent on another one, this is heterozygous condition, and they usually do not display any symptoms themselves. Sons of these women have a 50% chance of getting the disorders, but daughters have little chance of getting the disorder unless the father also has it. If father also has the problem on the X chromosome, then sons definitely will have the problem and will instead have a 50% chance of being the carriers. So let me see the different cases here. X-linked disorders, you can see here unaffected father, unaffected carrier mother, because in X-linked inheritance, the females, they have 2X chromosomes, okay, and allele present, this X-linked recessive allele present on one X chromosome, it cannot express itself in the absence of another partner. So the women is said to be the carrier and unaffected. Here this is the father, which is affected one. Okay, now dominant allele is present on the X chromosome in the father, and here X-linked recessive allele is present on one of the X chromosome. Now let me see the progeny here. When we see the progeny, okay, here you will see that there are chances of that 50% of the son you see here, they will be unaffected, and 50% of the daughters also will be unaffected, but there are chances of 50% of the son being affected. How? Let me see it. You just see it, that if suppose this X-linked recessive allele, okay, come in gamete with this here with this Y, that chromosome, and after the fusion of this, that zygote which is formed has XY condition, in which the X is the chromosome which has this recessive allele. In this case, the son will be affected. But suppose if the X chromosome which has this recessive allele, one from mother and another X chromosome from father, in this case the daughters will be carrier, not the affected one. So understood now the case in X-linked recessive traits. Why is this the case? Recessive X-linked traits appear more often in males than females. This is the reasoning question asked in the board also frequently. Reason is, if a male receives a bad allele from his mother, he has no chance of getting a good allele from his father. Who provides a Y? So, to hide the bad one. Females, on the other hand, will often receive a normal allele from their fathers, preventing the disease allele from being expressed. Now, we'll see the case study of hemophilia. So, in the next slide, you will see the Punnett square in which X-linked human disorder hemophilia is shown. What is hemophilia? A recessive condition in which a person's blood does not clot properly. So, this is a disease where the blood clotting is affected, blood does not clot. A person with hemophilia may have severe, even life-threatening bleeding from just a small cut. Hemophilia is caused by a mutation in either of two genes, both of which are located on the X chromosome. Both genes encode proteins that help blood clot. Okay, so understood the reason for that. Hemophilia is there, mutation in either of two genes. The genes which are located on the X chromosomes and which encode proteins that help in the blood clotting. So, blood clotting proteins are not formed due to the malfunctioning of these genes. Let's focus on just one of these genes, calling the functional allele XH and the diseased allele, this is XH. Okay, so the allele here presented, normal allele functional XH, and the diseased allele is the X small h. So let me see here in this Punnett square, unaffected father and carrier mother. So let me see the genotype of unaffected father. When you see here, unaffected father has the genotype X capital H Y. Gametes will be formed. There will be two types of gametes, one XH and other is Y. Now the mother is carrier means we can understand that one of the allele is normal, that is XH, and another is the XH small h. Okay, this is the defective one. So this is carrier mother. Now after crossing of these gametes, see what are the different conditions. So you see here that half of the sons will be unaffected. You can understand why it is there, because here the normal X chromosome from mother and normal from father, that is Y. So half of the son will be unaffected. Okay, and half of the sons have hemophilia, because if this X chromosome with that problem, it fuses here, this gamete fuses with the Y gamete from father, then half of the sons have hemophilia, because this is the recessive allele present on this. Okay, in case of daughter, when we see, daughters all are unaffected. Why? Because this daughter is normal one. Okay, this recessive, that gene allele is not present, both are the normal one. But in the second case, recessive allele is present, but it is the condition where the daughter is carrier one, but being unaffected. So in this way you will practice the different cases given in your book. So understood? One more time we will repeat it. Since the mother is a carrier, she will pass on the hemophilia allele XH onto the half of her children, both boys and girls we have seen here. None of the daughters will have hemophilia, that is zero chance we have seen. Why? That's because in order to have the disorder, they must get a XH allele from both their mother and father. But here we have seen that father is normal. There is zero chance of the daughters getting an XH allele from their father, so their overall chance of having hemophilia is 0. And the sons get a Y from their father instead of an X, so their only copy of the blood clotting gene comes from their mother. So the mother is heterozygous we have seen, so half of the sons on average will get XH allele and have hemophilia, half chance of the disorder. So understood? Now we'll come to the another that recessive trait, which is color blindness. Color blindness is a common hereditary condition, which means it is usually passed down from your parents. Here red-green color blindness is passed from mother to son on 23rd chromosome. So the problem is there on the 23rd chromosome, which is known as the sex chromosome because it also determines the sex. The 23rd chromosome is made up of two parts, either 2X chromosome if you are female or an X and Y chromosome if you are male. Means in simple words that the problem is located on the X chromosomes. The faulty gene for color blindness is found only on the X chromosome. So for a male to be colorblind, the faulty color blindness gene only has to appear on his X chromosome. For a female to be colorblind, it must be present on both her X chromosomes. Now we'll see here the condition. A colorblind man and a non-colorblind women here, normal women is there. So you see here the father is colorblind. You can see this here X allele, it is shown by the circle, means it is the defective one. Okay, so this is the condition in the father where the father is colorblind and the normal, so the genotype is also the normal one. In the female, means in the mother, it is not a carrier one. Now after the fusion, what we will see here, that here again you will see that son will not be color blind, no color blind sons, but all the daughters, they are the carrier ones. You just see the daughter, because one of the X chromosome or the gamete daughters are getting from the mother and another set they are getting from father. So in that case, all the daughters, they are the 100% colorblind carriers. Okay, so in this way you will form the Punnett square for different conditions. Another condition, a known colorblind man and a colorblind carrier woman. Here also you will see here the father is not colorblind. Reverse of that, the previous condition you have seen. Mother is the colorblind gene carrier. Here mother is also not colorblind. She is carrier one. So what are the different chances? So you see here that 50% chance of the sons being color blind. Okay, so 50% of the chance the sons will be non color blind, but the 50% are there, 50% chance of the sons being color blind. In case of daughters, when we see, then again you will see 50% chance of daughters being color blind gene carriers and 50% will be non color blind, means the normal daughters. Okay, understood? So in this way the different conditions are given in your book. You study them and make the Punnett square and write the results of their progeny. Now after this we'll come to the autosomal recessive inheritance. Till now we have discussed the sex linked inheritance and that is the X linked one. Now we will come to the autosomal recessive inheritance. Autosomal means what? There means the genes which are located on the autosomes. So autosomal recessive inheritance means that the gene is located on one of the autosomes. Okay, chromosome pairs like 1 to 22 are there, 22 pairs of chromosomes present in the human, and out of them suppose that this recessive gene is located on the autosome, then its expression is termed as the autosomal recessive inheritance. Its inheritance is termed as the autosomal recessive inheritance. Now this means that the males and females are equally affected. It is not the case like of X-linked inheritance where males are affected more and females are less. But here in autosomal recessive inheritance, males and females are equally affected. Recessive means that the two copies of the genes are necessary to have the trait, one inherited from the mother and one from the father. Next condition is there, a person who has only one recessive gene is said to be a carrier for the trait of the disease, but they do not have any health problem from carrying one copy of the gene. Understood? The same condition as we seen in the sex linked inheritance. Most people do not know that they carry a recessive gene for disease until they have a child with the disease. So in case of only one recessive gene, person will not be affected. Okay, because this is the case of recessive one. So recessive gene or recessive alleles, they express together in a pair always. Now different types of autosomal recessive disorders as per your syllabus we will see here. First, cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is the problem with the people with the CF secrete abnormal body fluids, like including unusual sweat and a thick mucus which prevents the body from properly cleansing the lungs. Okay, the mucus interrupts the function of vital organs and leads to the chronic infections. Classic CF also involves the pancreas and causes the decreased absorption of essential nutrients. So this is the cystic fibrosis. Now cystic fibrosis is caused by a change or a mutation in gene called CFTR, that is cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulator. Okay, so in this gene when the mutation takes place, then this cystic fibrosis problem arises, and this gene controls the flow of salt and fluid and in and out of your cells. Now next will come to the problem sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell disease involves the red blood cells or hemoglobin and the ability to carry oxygen. Okay, so the normal hemoglobin cells are smooth, round and flexible like the letter O, so they can move through the vessels in our body easily. So what happens here in the sickle cell anemia, that sickle cell hemoglobin cells are stiff and sticky and form into the shape of sickle or the letter C. So shape is changed from O to C, and when they lose their oxygen, these sickle cells tend to cluster together and cannot easily move through the blood vessels. The cluster causes a blockage and stops the movement of blood. So this is the problem of sickle cell anemia. It is caused by a mutation in the gene that tells us about our body to make the iron rich compound that makes blood red and enables red blood cells to carry oxygen from your lungs throughout your body. Now we'll come to the next one. This is Down syndrome. Down syndrome, it is the trisomy 21, known as the trisomy 21. This is autosomal abnormality known as Mongolian idiocy also. So let me see here that why does it arise and what are the problems. Trisomy 21 with risk increasing with maternal age, means when the mother means they give birth in their late age. Okay, and in this condition there are 47 chromosomes. Okay, instead of 46, 47 chromosomes. 45 plus XX in females and 45 plus XY in males instead of normal 6. So this is also called triplo 21. So which of the chromosome here increases? That is the 21st chromosome. That is why trisomy 21. So you know that all the chromosomes in the pair in the autosomes. Okay, so this 21st chromosome, now it is found in 3 in number instead of 2. So one chromosome increases, so it becomes 44 autosomes should be there, but it becomes 45. Okay, now the symptoms are their most common causes of mental retardation, characteristics: eye folds, short stocky body and the lack of muscle tone. Associated syndromes are their congenital heart diseases, leukemia, premature Alzheimer's disease. Here you can see this is the baby suffering from this syndrome. Small nose, mouth and ears, almond shaped eyes with skin fold covering the inner corner. Okay, and slightly bent fifth finger, short stocky body. These are some the symptoms of the problem we have discussed now. Now we'll come to the next, Klinefelter syndrome, XXY. You can understood here what is the thing here. This is due to the sex chromosome abnormality. Okay, the previous one we have studied, that is due to the autosome. Autosome, which one? That is the trisomy of 21, 21st, that chromosome, its number increases. But in the Klinefelter syndrome, it is due to sex chromosome abnormality. So let me see here what happens here. Here also the trisomy, there are 47 chromosomes instead of the normal 46. So this condition is now formed like 44 plus XXY. Okay, why does it happen? It is due to known disjunction of the sex chromosome during anaphase 1 of meiosis. Okay, known disjunction of sex chromosome. Separation is not taking place during the anaphase 1 of meiosis. So that is why this is the problem arising. Symptoms: hypogonadism, okay, that is physiologically inactive gonads, tall stature, gynecomastia, mild mental retardation, and usually diagnosed until after puberty. So these all are the symptoms of Klinefelter syndrome. Now we'll come to the Turner syndrome. This is the XO condition. Here what is there? It is also due to the sex chromosome abnormality. This is due to known disjunction of sex chromosome during anaphase 1 of meiosis, and it is monosomy. Okay, here you see one chromosome is less. Okay, so which of the chromosome is less here? That is one of the sex chromosome. Individual possesses 45 chromosome instead of the normal 46. So normal 46 is not present here. 44 plus X, only X chromosome, no Y, and no another X is there. Okay, so symptoms are there: streak gonads, primary amenorrhea, webbed neck, short stature, poorly developed ovaries, and below average intelligence. Now next disorder we will see here, albinism. This is nitrogen metabolism defect. Okay, autosomal recessive disorder, and it is taking place due to tyrosinase deficiency, that is inability to synthesize melanin from the tyrosine. So it can result from a lack of migration of neural crest cells. Neural crest cells in embryo responsible for the formation of peripheral nervous system. Now symptoms are there: depigmentation. So we can understand when the melanin is not formed, it means depigmentation, pink eyes, increased risk of skin cancer. Next we'll come to the phenylketonuria, PKU. Phenylketonuria is also the nitrogen metabolism defect. It is autosomal recessive disorder, and what happens here? Phenylalanine hydroxylase deficiency. Deficiency of this enzyme. This enzyme is not formed, okay, due to the problem in the genes. So phenylalanine hydroxylase deficiency. So what happens? It cannot break down phenyl nor make the tyrosine. So what happened? Buildup of phenylalanine, phenylketones in body tissues and central nervous system. Okay, so these are accumulated, they are not converted into the next product. Symptoms result from the accumulation of phenylalanine itself, because this phenylalanine cannot be broken down into the products. So because of the deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase there, so what happens? It accumulates in the body. Mental deterioration, hypopigmentation, okay, because pigment is also not formed here. Blonde hair and blue eyes, mousy body odor from phenylacetic acid in the urine and sweat. So these products, these are accumulated in the body, like phenylacetate, phenylactate, phenylpyruvate, because here this phenylalanine cannot make the, here phenylalanine cannot further breakdown metabolism is disturbed. Okay, so this is phenylketonuria. Now we'll come to the last disease, that is thalassemia. What is thalassemia? This is an inherited blood disorder that reduces the production of functional hemoglobin. Okay, so the functional hemoglobin is not produced in this. Okay, the what is hemoglobin? The protein in red blood cells and which carries the oxygen. This causes a shortage of RBCs and low levels of oxygen in the bloodstream, leading to the variety of the health problems. So understood? Because proper hemoglobin it is not produced in this problem. Okay. There are two main types of thalassemia, alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia. Signs and symptoms they vary but may include mild to severe anemia, paleness, fatigue, yellow discoloration of skin, that is jaundice, because the hemoglobin that amount is reduced in this condition, and bone problems. Beta thalassemia is caused by changes or mutation in the HBB genes, while alpha thalassemia is caused by the mutation in the HBA1 and or HBA2 genes. Both are inherited in an autosomal recessive manner. Treatment depends on the type and severity of the condition but may include blood transfusions or folic acid supplement. So treatment is there but depend upon the severity of the conditions. Okay, so